All right, we are back. Fantasy episode for week 5. Fan feed pod. Let's get it going. We are going to talk some busts tonight. Talk about who's not performing, guys you need to add off waivers, guys you need to trade for, all kinds of good stuff. Once again, I'm Cameron. This is Logan up in the top right, Dom in the bottom right, and Alex down here in the bottom left. And tonight, Dom is going to host this show. So I'm basically going to step back. Before I do, I'm just going to say, if you haven't already subscribed to us, go ahead and subscribe on YouTube and leave us comments below. I mean, this show's been a lot of fun the last couple weeks of just answering fantasy questions. So if anybody's got any questions having to do with fantasy football, let us know in the comments so we can give you our best expertise. I think we hit pretty hard last week on Ashton Genty, fellas.
Yeah.
That was a good call by all of us. So
Judkins, Genty, all the running backs are pretty much hit.
Oh yeah, all the rookie running backs. I mean, RJ Harvey, dude.
Yeah.
So
and I was
like I said,
hard on Drake London, and bang,
yes.
There was his breakout that we've been waiting for.
Yeah, finally.
He said, Alex, watch this.
That's right. We got some comments already. Caleb from the Sunday night show saying, "Let's go, Dom." I know he's excited for this one. But yeah, so like I said, subscribe to us on YouTube, leave comments, leave a like. It helps with the algorithm. Share us with your friends. If you're over on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, and all that good stuff. Go check out fanfeednetwork.com. And now I'm going to hand it on over to my main man, Dom. Dom, how you doing?
Guys? What's up, everybody? All right, so first off, week 4, we're getting the nitty-gritty of the fantasy football season. Ton of injuries. I know you Malik Nabers owners out there, Tyreek Hill owners, even those Lamar owners. Anything you guys got to say about that? Logan, what do you think about these injuries, especially the Malik Nabers one?
I mean, the Malik Nabers one, pretty rough. There's been a lot of injuries in the past with, receivers, Giants receivers at MetLife Stadium. So hopefully, I hope that they change it to grass field at some point. But, that injury, early game slate, seeing a young receiver like that go down, pretty brutal. And then the Tyreek injury last night was pretty devastating. I mean, it could be a career-ending injury for him. He's 32. It's, multiple torn ligaments, dislocated knee. It's the worst injury possible.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know. Alex had a matchup last night against, Cam. It was a slugfest. Tyreek Hill was involved. So, how do you feel, Alex, about that? What are you thinking about this Tyreek injury?
Yeah, I'm sad about it for 2 reasons. One, because I think it might be the end of him being one of the fastest players in the NFL. It's not something. I mean, we've seen Chubb coming back from an injury of that caliber, and he hasn't looked the same. And the second reason is because I had both him and Nabers in the fan feed fantasy league. So my season is basically over. But I hope that I think Malik won't lose a step. He'll be back next year, and hopefully he'll fall down draft boards a little bit because of the injury. I'll be happy to take him. But yeah, Tyreek's it might be rough for him to come back from this.
Yeah, for sure. Any other injuries you guys are worried about? I know Bucky Irving, Jaylen Warren. Anything you guys are worried about a little bit?
The Bucky Irving one was the one I was going to bring up. I think he went through an MRI either yesterday or today, and we'll have to see what that unfolds. But yeah, the Bucky Irving one was definitely one that worries me because I do have him in a dynasty league, and if he went down, that's one of my top running backs. So I am worried about that one.
One I'm particularly not worried about is Lamar. I think that it was more he didn't want to play the rest of the game than he was actually injured. So, yeah, I think he'll be back and fine next week.
Well, did you see that report today? There's some, I think it was the Baltimore Sun. They said he may be out 2 to 3 weeks with that hamstring injury. And it's unlikely that he plays in week 5. I saw that. Like, the line flipped in that game. I'm pretty sure Houston's favored now.
I haven't seen that anywhere else. Dang. Well, if that's true, then who's their backup now? Cooper Rush?
They have Cooper Rush, yeah. Hopefully they feed Derrick Henry more. That's probably what will have to happen.
Yes.
How does Cooper Rush keep finding himself in these positions to be the starter for like a full season?
Great question.
It's pretty annoying.
For any Zay Flowers owners out there, I did see a stat online. He targeted Zay Flowers 38%. He had a 38% snap target share last time Cooper Rush played with the Ravens. So, just saying for anybody that was a little discouraged last week and the week before for Zay Flowers. But
on the injuries, I would also add Ricky Pearsall, because Pearsall's been playing pretty well, but apparently there's a PCL injury that he's dealing with that he could be sidelined for a couple weeks, which is not fun because, I mean, literally everybody on the 49ers is dying. I mean, I watched Jawan Jennings go up for that touchdown catch and just get speared in his rib cage, and I know that didn't feel good. So, like, I don't know if anybody can survive over there. I think that spirit bomb thing, the Christian McCaffrey sucking up everybody's energy force to stay alive for the season, makes so much sense.
Oh my God! Right,
smash that like
Brady.
button.
Yeah, Tom Brady with the clutch smash that like button. But yeah,
Thanks,
I mean,
Tom.
I think that I mean, there's no time of a return either for Ayuk. I didn't even see I know obviously he's on IR, but I don't know about you guys. I don't think I've seen anything of him coming back anytime soon.
Yeah, I saw John Lynch said something like along the lines that he's not going to be back anytime soon, and that they don't expect him back anytime soon. So, yeah, I don't know. And they play on Thursday night too. Yeah, they're going to be shorthanded for sure. And then I think Brock Purdy also kind of re-aggravated that turf toe injury against the Jaguars as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a rough one on Thursday.
They need Kittle more than anything, but they're not getting him yet. So,
who do you have in this 49ers offense that you think that could catch the ball? My pick is right now the safest if Pearsall is out is Jawan Jennings. I don't know about you. You guys have any maybe like deep league players?
Well, Jawan and Pearsall didn't practice today. I think Demarcus Robinson could be a dark horse that potentially a waiver wire add this week.
Don't forget about Jake Tonjes, I would say.
Jake Tonjes
and add Christian McCaffrey. He should be owned in all leagues.
If he's on your waiver wire, please pick up Christian McCaffrey.
I mean, Jake Tonjes, if you're in like a 32-man, hopefully he's on a roster. And, I mean, if there's tight end premium, he's getting 3 catches a game. Might get 4 this week. Who knows?
I even like Robinson. I know it's crazy. I know he's the backup, but with all these guys out, he could really be used. If they're all out, if all those wide receivers are out, they're going to run the ball nonstop. So,
what's the deal with Isaac Garindo? I haven't heard anything about him. I know he's been hurt.
Banished to the shadow realm.
Yeah, he'd be a great little slot receiver for them. I feel like dude is just fast as lightning.
All right. So, getting into that, the waiver wire, actually, I was going to start from quarterback since the Lamar injury. We don't know. Hopefully it's not 2 to 3 weeks, but if it is 2 to 3 weeks, Alex, who do you have picking up for quarterback wise? Who you're thinking?
If Daniel Jones is dropped because some people didn't like his performance last week, I'd say pick him up. I think that he's still going to be a relevant fantasy starter, maybe a top 12 quarterback rest of season if he can, play anywhere near where he did the first 3 games. I saw that he was one of the guys trending down on sleeper. So if your league mate's stupid enough to drop him, pick him up right now.
I would probably say CJ Stroud. He's facing Baltimore this week. We just saw Mahomes, have his best game in a long time, 4 touchdowns with Xavier Worthy back. I do like Stroud as a streamer, and I'm expecting that he's on a lot of waiver wires out there. So I would say Stroud.
Yeah, both. I've seen Stroud more than Jones, but definitely if Jones is available, he's got so much rushing upside, and hopefully Stroud figures it out. For me, being 15 minutes away from MetLife, got to pick him up. Got to pick up the Dart, man. He had a fantastic game, 20 points in his debut. I had him in my favorites for the waiver wire. I do think there are some concerns, obviously, with Malik out, but 54 yards and 10 carries is insanity. And you're debuted against the top 5 Chargers defense, so definitely him. I know Woody Marks is the talk around town, but any other running back waiver wires you guys like?
Rashad White. We kind of talked about Bucky Irving earlier. I would say Rashad White, just in case if Bucky Irving does miss time. Expect him to take over the pass catching role, and potentially 3-down role. Sean Tucker could steal some carries, but overall, I kind of like Rachaad White. We've seen him in a workhorse role before Bucky got there, and he kind of excelled in that role.
I'm a sicko. I'm taking Sean Tucker.
I don't hate
Rachaad White.
I love Sean Tucker as a Syracuse student.
I love Sean Tucker, one of the greatest college running backs ever. And
Heisman campaign.
Yeah, dude. I mean, last year he had that one huge smash game. I was trying to find him on Sleeper to see what he did, but it's still going to be a timeshare. Like Rachaad White's not going anywhere, but I know Rachaad White's also been a little banged up. Sean Tucker's just a fun dart throw, but that's mainly for deeper leagues. Last year against New Orleans, he had 14 carries, 136 yards, 1 touchdown, and added 3 catches, 56 yards, and a touchdown. Was RB1 overall that week with 35 points. So you talk about smash upside. You know, I'm always about embracing risk. Rachaad White's going to get you that consistent like 15, maybe 20, you know, with the volume. But Sean Tucker, dude, don't sleep on Sean.
I'll say one guy I was looking at this year. I was watching this game because it was just on the TV, and I did not expect Kendre Miller to look as good as he did. He was breaking tackles left and right. He had 65 yards, almost an even rushes, almost an even touch share with Alvin Kamara. Kamara still gets way more receiving, but rush-wise, they were about even. Kendre Miller might be overtaking Kamara as the main rushing running back in that backfield if this season progresses the way it has been. I like him, and he's only 23 still.
Logan, is there anything about the Chiefs trade rumors for Alvin?
I wouldn't mind it. I don't know, you know, cap space that we could work it out, but I would not mind trading for Alvin Kamara. If I'm the Chiefs, I'm looking at these teams that are kind of struggling, like the Jets, the Saints. Try to target Breece Hall or Alvin Kamara.
Breece would be sick.
Speaking of trades, I'll go back to quarterbacks for a second. If Jameis Winston, if the news is true and he might be going to the Bengals, biggest pickup. He's going to throw 400 yards a game, 2 picks, but he'll also throw 2 touchdowns. And that's going to be a fun one. I'd pick him up.
Send him to Cincy.
Please.
We've got a question here. Lost Nabers, Tillman, and Juwan might be out. London's on bide. Trade Travion for Olave, PPR. My bench has Gainwell, Sharp, Spears, Ollie Gordon, and Woody Marks.
I wouldn't do that. Chris Olave kind of, I don't even know. I mean, did he finish with negative points this week just because of the interception? Did he even catch a ball this week against Buffalo?
I know at one point he had negative points. I think he had like minus 2 points because of the interception. So,
like, I'm not sure if he actually caught a pass. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he caught 3 passes.
Come 3? On, okay.
Come on,
what was the stat line? 3 for what? 3 for what?
3 for 20 and 1 touchdown.
Okay,
so he got you 10 points.
He ended up with 10 points. He's had 10 points every week this year, and he's second in the league in targets. I think that, honestly, as a Patriots fan, we're still running Ramondre just as much as we're running Travion, and we're running Gibson at the goal line. I would do that trade if you're that far down in receiver since Nabers is gone.
Yeah,
I mean, go ahead, Cam.
Yeah, I was just gonna say with your receivers that bad off, Olave's a guy I feel like does have upside, even though I'm with Logan. Like, he's very frustrating to own because he is very up and down. But this year he's been pretty consistent. The way that offense rolls, they're definitely flowing through him. And Buffalo definitely knows how to take away your best target. So I think that Buffalo game's hard to judge him off of. I wanted to say something too on Travion because I'm a huge Travion believer. But I saw something today that just broke my heart. So Travion has a 0% explosive run rate. So he's dead last in the NFL in explosive run rate. He has 0.08 missed tackles forced per attempt, which is 39th overall in the league. And then 1.42 yards after contact per attempt, which is dead last in the NFL. Really, really not good. Meanwhile, Ramondre's got a 6.5% explosive rush rate, so he's 15th out of the NFL. 0.26 missed tackles forced, 6th overall, and 2.48 yards after contact per attempt. 16th overall. So Ramondre's having a pretty good season. I just think Trayvon's going to take a little while. I still think he's going to, pay off at the end of the year. But the way your team is, I just take Woody Marks as my Trayvon for the year and try to get a receiver.
Yeah, with Woody, I like it.
Yeah, I agree with them too. If salvage your losses, get something back in return. Hopefully Olave has like a change of pace in this offense, but what your receiver is that bad, you're desperate to make a trade, I'd make it. I think we have another question as well.
Yeah. Another trade offer. 0-4, Bengals owner, nothing to lose. Send McBride, Chase Brown, Ladd McConkey, Matthew Golden, or Pearsall. In return, I get Brian Thomas Jr., Judkins, Kelsey, Franklin. Good move.
No.
Don't do it, Dylan.
Don't
never trade Trey McBride. Trade Trey McBride.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about McBride and Pierce. I know McConkey hasn't been, or Chase Brown hasn't, but McBride is the tight end number one, alongside with Jake Ferguson. Yeah, I wouldn't even think about trading him.
If you could trade Chase Brown and one of those receivers for Judkins, that's the move I would make. Yeah. That's the only guy on that team I'm interested in.
I was about to say the same thing. That's the only player I'm interested on that trade. Yeah.
Come on. We got another one, Jelly of the Month. This is the last guy, the Trayvon for Olave. Other options would be trade Charbs to the Walker owner for Waddle, but he might be harder now with Tyreek out. I don't know, dude. I will say people who own Jalen Waddle hate Jalen Waddle.
He's always hurt too. He's always banged up.
Always.
Oh, yeah, constantly.
That's a great trade if you can get that done.
Who's the number one receiver if he goes down though? If Waddle goes down, I think that's
Malik.
Is it Darren Waller.
Malik, yeah, Darren Waller, yeah.
It's Malik Washington.
Yeah.
He's a great ad off the waiver wire, out of UVA. Just a target. He's like a Wan'Dale Robinson, with a little more after the catch ability. He gets a lot of low ADOT targets. But he's someone they really like. They really force feed. I mean, you saw him Monday night was getting handoffs out of the backfield. I like Malik a lot. Should I cut Devontae Smith for Jalen Tolbert? Smith hasn't done anything.
No.
Don't do it, Tyler.
If you could trade him, but
that's the move.
I wouldn't cut him.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, because immediately somebody's going to snap him up. See what you can trade him for.
This guy, he also posted. He asked what his defense is.
So we just skipping my chat. Oh, sorry, Slapsky. I didn't mean to skip your chat, buddy. Pick a defense for this week: Cleveland, Rams, KC, New York Giants, Miami, Houston, New Orleans. I think it's Cleveland, right?
I would agree with Cleveland. They're playing against Minnesota, and I don't trust Carson Wentz. So
I would say Miami's like such a trap against Carolina, because I feel like Carolina has been so sneaky good, and people get the impression of, oh, it's Carolina, they don't score as many points. They've been like absolutely kind of dominant. I know they've been playing trashier teams, but I think Cleveland's the answer here.
What are your guys' thoughts on Giants? I think Giants are kind of interesting.
Yeah, Giants was my other.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably say
Go ahead,
Logan.
Giants. Keep talking.
Giants or Cleveland would probably be my top two there.
You're not concerned about the Buffalo game?
If I can get a really good pass rush, which you have three great pass rushes in New York, I think they could cause some issues for New Orleans. But I think Cleveland's also great against Carson Wentz, most likely. I think that's a great answer as well.
Yeah, I like the Giants play. That pass rush is so real. It's so just gross, and they're gonna be a great defense down the stretch too, because those guys only get better with time. I'm gonna share Slapsky's he's got some ads that he's got guys available. We could see his team if you look over in the comments. He's got Caleb Williams, Ashton Genty, Tony Pollard, Adunze, JSN, Juwan Johnson, Egbuka, Matthew Golden. And he's got May, Ridley, Downs, Tootin. Is this an 8-man league?
Yeah.
Golly, brother, this is a crazy team. How do you have this team in 12-man? That's insane.
I feel like you got pretty lucky with, Odunze breakout, Egbuka breakout. Those are some late guys that return pretty heavy, but they were going late in drafts. So
Genty, though, Genty was going right at the back end of the first, early second. It's just a good team. Great team. Definitely Woody Marks. He said he's going for Woody Marks and Darius Slayton for sure. Pacheco, no. Corum, keep your eye on. Kendre, keep your eye on. Kendre's a guy you could probably jump at now. Bond.
I'd really just go for Woody. I'd drop Tootin for Woody at this point, but that's the only change I'd really make to the roster because I still trust.
Whoa.
What, you love Tootin? I said I'd drop Tootin because ETN still got that backfield.
Yeah,
I know you love your rookie. I know you love your rookie running backs, but come on.
Woody's a rookie. I would drop Calvin Ridley. He has been trash this year.
Yeah, he's been terrible.
Ridley would be the one I would drop.
I had such high hopes. I agree with
that.
Such a shame.
Thanks for the comment, Slapsky. Keep your eye on Isaiah Bond too. Can we talk about Isaiah Bond really quick?
Yes. Y'all seen one of my favorite waiver wire pickups this week.
Okay, tell us about it, Dom. I want to hear it.
That Browns offense is so disgruntled. I know Harold Fannin is the number one receiver in this offense, but Isaiah Bond, realistically, Judy has not been performing. Judy, I see as a Calvin Ridley 2.0 on this Browns team. Ton of potential, but just doesn't get the volume. He gets targets, but he doesn't get the volume. Isaiah Bond, I see as like an Xavier Worthy on a much worse team. He's getting those deep shots. At Texas, he had those deep shots. Like he would have like 2-yard games or 91-yard games. So it's very, very boom or bust. But I feel like if you stash him later in the year as well, even for the fantasy playoffs, a lot of these guys are hurt. Maybe the Browns aren't playing their starters as much. He can have some really, really big games for you. So I feel like he's a very good stash, especially he's like a wide receiver handcuff. So I would stash him right now, see what he can do.
Yeah, and Cedric Tillman was placed on the IR today, so just more opportunity for him to go in and make an impact right away.
Well, and I would even add on to that Joe Flacco's time is coming to an end, brother. Like,
there's rumors
Gabriel's
that
coming in.
Gabriel starts, yeah.
But is that really a plus for any of the Browns receivers? Because Flacco is going to air the ball out.
That's right, and that remains to be seen. However, I think Gabriel can run a more consistent offense, and Bond, I think, runs the type of routes that are easier catches. Judy's kind of the guy running more downfield, whereas Bond's going to be playing out of the slot, small, speedy guy. So I just think it's worth a shot. I think that Kevin Stefanski, this is the guy we were talking about as like the QB guru a few years ago, but he's had to deal with friggin' Deshaun Watson, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who is so bad.
Where is he in your room? Is he in your room this week or no?
Actually, no. I cleaned that out. Just kidding. He's right here, bro.
Nice.
So, yeah, I just think it's an interesting ad. Bond, like Dom was saying, he's trending up in usage and had 6 targets this last game, 3 catches for 58 yards. This was a guy that was like considered to be a day 2 pick, so second or third round, and dropped because of off the field issues. I just, I like taking the stab on him. So I'm going to bring up this one content, and then Dom, you can keep rolling. But Slapsky, this is how he got his team. He fleeced a guy, Chase Brown and Bowers to Genty and Egbuka, which he probably did that week 1. So it looked like a good deal, or even prior to week 1. But I think that's a pretty good deal. At least it's paying off right now, even though I love Bowers. I did trade because we were talking about Travion earlier. I traded Chase Brown straight up for Travion. Roast me.
Whoa.
I don't hate it. What Chase Brown's been pretty bad behind that Cincinnati offensive line. I don't hate that trade and just hope that Travion eventually takes over that backfield. I don't hate the trade at all.
Thank you. That was my thoughts. What, Alex? What
I already told you my take on Trayvon's that he doesn't have much touchdown upside. He's not getting the carries over Ramondre because Ramondre is playing as the better running back outside of fumbles right now. And Chase Brown, I'm a volume over everything guy. And Chase Brown didn't have that bad of a game yesterday. He's getting a lot of volume. I think eventually as this offense starts to click, once they trade for a quarterback, Chase Brown could start playing at least to RB2 caliber again. I don't know how long it's going to be till Trayvon becomes an RB2.
I feel that. Oh, can I say one more running back ad? I'm sorry. And this is Logan's guy. I know Logan likes this guy. Brashard Smith should be added.
Oh yeah, very solid this week. Very solid this week. Very solid. I do like that ad too. I do like that ad as well.
Pacheco is definitely buns and dust. Kareem Hunt is a great short yardage back, but that's about it. I'm going with Brashard. Unless they trade for somebody.
Yeah, I mean, he is. I'm so scared of that Chiefs backfield. It's insanity. That Chiefs backfield just irks me. There's just like I drafted Pacheco, so that's why I have like such PTSD about it. But yeah, Brashard Smith's definitely I see him as a good late year ad. I see him even as next year, if they don't draft a running back or anything, I think he might be the RB2 and trying to get that RB1 spot. So I think they're just trying to develop him this year. But again, injuries happen. It's football. So let's see this trade. My RBs are K9, Trayvon. My wide receivers are Lamb, Rome, London, Rasheed, Golden, Malik. Would you trade London for K9? London K9 for Saquon. Ooh, what do you guys think about that?
I'm going to say I have a hot take on this one. I think Rome is going to come back down to earth a little bit. I don't think he's a top 5 receiver rest of season. I'd rather try to trade Rome and K9 for Saquon because I think Drake London has top 5 receiver upside the rest of the year, more so than Rome does.
Yes, sir. Totally agree.
And Luther Burden's going to break out, right?
And Luther Burden is breaking out. Thank you.
Listen, as long as somebody on that Bears team breaks out, I don't care.
I'm going to try to say your name real quick. I'm going to try to say his name, Matayam. He said that he's got the #1 waiver claim. So he's like, should I just hold on my team and pick up Woody? Yes. That's, easy.
Yeah.
So
I don't
go
want to
ahead,
make this
Logan.
trade either. No, I want to make this trade. I have Drake London on all my teams. He's going to keep playing this way. I mean, this past week was a breakout. That target share, he had 38% target share. He'll stick with that. So, and Saquon really hasn't been efficient this year at all. I think he's averaging like 3.1 yards per carry. I want to make that trade.
I was just about to say Saquon. Just watching like the eye test. I know he's getting volume, but the eye test, he doesn't look like last year. He looks very flat. Very. Again, he's probably going to go over 1,000 yards and make me look so stupid, but. He doesn't look like he's getting the volume. I don't think the entire Eagles offense, other than Jalen Hurts, is getting that volume. So,
and he had over 300 carries last year, like 360 carries last year. So it's probably his tread on the tires as well.
Yeah, they also have. I know isn't AJ Dillon on that team?
He is.
Yes. And he's getting a lot of those like shorter yards, like power down back, like third down back workload. So they're not using him as much. They're still using him predominantly, but not as much as they would want, and even in the passing game. So,
yeah, the offense just sucks for the Eagles. So, let's do one more question, and then guys, keep the questions rolling. We will answer more at the end of the show, but we gotta halt on some of the questions so we can get through some of the content. So Hunter says that he has Lamar no backup because he's a dog like me. Dak and Stafford are on waivers. Which would you pick up? Definitely Dak, I feel like.
Dak.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Dak's even on the waivers.
Yeah, me too. Dak's throwing for so many passes per game. He leads the league in yards. Yeah, Dak has a good floor. I'd get him.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, after the CeeDee Lamb injury too, they're going to be down in some of these games. Cowboys are, I feel like, always usually down in games. So they're always going to be passing. He hasn't. Knock on wood, he hasn't been turning the ball over so much this year. So watch him. He's going to have like 3 interceptions next game. But yeah, I'm surprised he's on your waivers. All right. We are gonna. I think we went through enough waiver. Unless you guys have any other waiver wire ads, any specific waiver wire ads. I know we didn't get through wide receivers, but we talked a lot about wide receivers. If you guys have any waiver wire ads before we get to the panic meter, let me know. We could talk about it real quick.
Let's go panic.
Yep.
I would just say really quick on tight end, if you are struggling with tight end, add Mason Taylor, who's getting a lot of run in that Jets offense, and they do not have a second option outside of Garrett Wilson. And then one more running back, deep stash, just for a few weeks, Xavier Scott for the Vikings. He caught, 6 passes on 8 targets for 43 yards and a touchdown this past week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's your Aaron Jones replacement. That's 16.4 PPR points. That is just money for these teams that have been decimated with injuries. Go grab them.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're gonna get into the elephant in the room. We are panicking. Are we panicking on Brian Thomas Jr.? Are we panicked, concerned, or calm? I can probably answer this one for you guys, but go ahead.
I'm a bit concerned. I mean, it was an improvement this last week. He actually caught more than, 15% of his targets. He caught 5 of 7 targets for 49 yards. But the upcoming schedule, you have the Chiefs and Seattle in your next 2 games. And with Shane Waldron as the passing game coordinator, it's just tough to trust anybody in this Jacksonville offense. This offense is really built around Travis Etienne and kind of limiting the passing game and kind of taking the ball out of Trevor Lawrence's hands. I'm a bit concerned about Brian Thomas Jr.
If I'm panicking on him now, I wasn't panicking on him last week, I don't know why, because this week he did show some improvement. Also, if you're panicking on him, I'm not really sure what you can do because nobody wants to trade for him right now. I would say he's got to be a hold on your roster.
Yeah.
Cameron,
yeah, dude, I totally wouldn't trade for him, bro.
In our league, Cameron just asked. He offered me the trade, and I got Pickens out of it. So.
Yeah, I traded Pickens straight up for Brian Thomas Jr. because like I said, I live by my name. I like to live on the wild side. I felt like Pickens looked so bad the first 4 or 3 weeks, and just as a Steelers guy, I've seen so many receivers leave the Steelers, go to other teams, and then with CD down, I was like, oh, he's just gonna be so bad. And boy, was I wrong because he cooked the Packers. I think he probably scored like 35 points, which would have helped me beat Alex this week. But no, I had to go get Brian Thomas Jr. and get me a nice solid 10. And
he was our buy low candidate Pickens last week. So listen to the fan feed pod.
Welcome to the fan feed pod. But yeah, I'm not concerned about Brian Thomas. Like, I still think he's a stud. I'm concerned about the offense. So I will be honest about that. I think the offense, is just bad right now. But I'm hoping that they find some kind of rhythm. And I trust Liam Cohen to adjust. Like, I know we talked about Shane Waldron last week, but I feel like Liam Cohen's smarter than that to just let him do whatever. And thank you, Tom Brady, for reminding me that I hate Pickens. I actually love George Pickens as a human being. Frustrating in fantasy football. Guaranteed for like 11 points this week coming up.
All right. So I did make this panic meter list before. I do have Justin Fields on there. So let's get him out of the way now. Not panicked at all. I wrote this before last night's game. So we're not panicked on Justin Fields. Everybody agree? 3, 2, 1.
We're buying. We're
top
buying
5 quarterback
Fields.
rest of the season. Top 5 quarterback.
I was concerned with his passing yards for fantasy, but my mistake. Are we concerned with Kyron Williams and Blake Corum cutting into his role? Alex, you want to go first?
I think Blake Corum is one of the worst backup running backs in the league, to be honest. I think he's really overrated because of the team he was on in college. And honestly, Kyron, he hasn't had as many touchdowns as last year. They are airing out the ball right now to Puka mostly, but he's still getting 10 points a week, and he's gotten 19 and 16 a couple of weeks. I think that I'm not panicked at all on Kyron Williams. He'll pick it up as the season goes on.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I'm not worried at all. I think they're kind of just, limiting his touches a little bit because he's dealt with injuries the last couple of years, but they just gave him a contract extension. They're not going to eventually bench him or anything for Blake Corum. I'm not really worried about Kyren Williams in the slightest.
Yeah, I'm with that. I think that Corum is he looks the exact same as Kyren, and that's kind of Sean McVay said that he's like a Kyren clone. Sean McVay loves Kyren Williams. So, like, yes, this will take away some of the carries that Kyren gets. We'll see him splitting more time than we are accustomed to. Like last year, Corum had like no play whatsoever. But I still like Kyren a lot. And he's just had some tough matchups to start off the season. They're going to get to a point where they're going to play with a lead, and Kyron's just going to eat. So,
yeah, I agree with you guys. I've always liked Kyren Williams. Just surprised he's getting this, this usage. But you saw last year he was a touchdown monster. So once his touchdowns start going up a little bit, I see him being fine. I see him being your fringe RB1, high end RB2. Speaking of running backs, though, another guy that we're all kind of, shaking a little bit with, Derrick Henry. How are we feeling, Logan? What are your thoughts? 7.8 points this past week.
So for me, like this whole situation, it's not like the Saquon situation, this Christian McCaffrey situation where he's just not efficient. He's just not getting the work. And I've always been confused why they just don't use him more, don't put him on the field more often just as a threat. I mean, over the past 2 weeks, he's had 20 carries for 92 yards and a touchdown. That's still 4.6 yards per carry. I think they're going to shift to a more run-heavy offense with Lamar out, with a banged-up defense to keep that defense off the field. I'm not really worried about Derrick Henry either. He'll get back into the workload, and I expect more touchdowns for him in the coming weeks.
I completely agree. He hasn't aged since week one. In week one, he looks like he was 20 years old. So I'm still buying low on Derrick Henry.
He's such a smash buy low right now. Like we have to realize that they played the Bills, the Lions, and the
Browns.
Who's the Browns? But who did they just play? Oh my gosh, Kansas City.
Yeah.
The Browns have a stout run defense, so it's divisional, so they just sold out to stop the run. I mean, he ran all over Buffalo, but you go against the Lions and the Chiefs. Lions are a high-scoring offense, and Chiefs with Xavier Worthy were moving down the field. They got behind early. The offense was struggling, and whenever this offense struggles, they put the ball in Lamar's hands to let him make plays, and they just stopped running with Henry. They're going to come up on this schedule. Like, I think, did they play Houston this week? Is that who they play?
They do, yes.
Yeah, so Houston, this is a smash. Like, I think he's going to easily hit 100 yards, probably add a touchdown, if not two, because they're going to make up for what he's lost the last 3 weeks. So, yeah, Derrick Henry, easy buy. Not worried at all. And I'm not worried about the fumbles.
No.
Yeah. No, I do not
do not care.
Justice Hill. Yeah, don't trust Justice Hill.
We do not care. Mike Tomlin.
No, I mean, I love Henry. I mean, first 2 weeks you saw Henry just kind of smashed. It's Derrick Henry. Regardless, he's a start every week. You're not. If anybody benches Derrick Henry, trade with them. Ask them for him. If you're not using him, I'll use him. So, I completely agree. Derrick Henry is I think a smash buy low this week. Somebody I'm not touching personally, Marvin Harrison Jr. I think Arizona's passing game is, other than Trey McBride, I think we talked about this last week, is atrocious. I don't care if he gets volume. I don't care. I know that he had a decent game, but I don't like Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't know about you guys. What do you guys think?
It was an interesting story watching their game against the Seahawks because you saw everything that's been worrying us all season about Marvin Harrison in the first half. You watched him, quote unquote, stop running on a route, which was really him just trying to get to better space for the ball to be passed to him. Then you saw a hit bounce off his hands and get picked. And then in the second half, you saw him gain that confidence back, especially on the last drive, especially with a touchdown. It looked like a turnaround, and I think it might possibly be a turning point in his season. I think it's a very hot take, but I'm actually kind of high on Marvin Harrison Jr. going forward just because it looked like a turning point watching that game live.
Yeah, I think at this point he's more of a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 in fantasy. The offense is too volatile. Kyler Murray from drive to drive is not even consistent. Trey McBride's he's a clear go-to, and Marvin Harrison makes the really difficult catches look easy, and then he makes the really easy catches look difficult. So it's just like I'm not going to trust him, and I would not try to trade for him in any of my leagues.
Yeah, I mean, if you're still a believer, this is probably a good stretch to go get them because they play Tennessee, Indianapolis, and Green Bay next, which are all plus matchups for Marvin. I love Marvin Harrison as a receiver. I think Marvin Harrison is so good. There's a reason that he got drafted in the top 5. However, this offense is so bad. Kyler Murray is so bad. Kyler is just not playing. I mean, he's playing well fantasy wise right now, but he is just not good at getting the ball to his receivers. I mean, those 2 interceptions, people were blaming Marvin, like Alex was saying. And these are, I mean, the one, obviously, like him bobbling the ball, that's just a fluke. But the other one, Marvin's moving to space. Kyler's not on the same page. A lot of these throws that Kyler was throwing to him, he's like airing it over top of them or throwing it too short into the dirt. And I think the offensive coordinator, Drew Petzig, just the way they deploy him is just not proper. This dude loves Michael Wilson. I've said it multiple times on the show. They love Michael Wilson, and it is beyond me why you would feed Michael Wilson. I think Marvin Harrison is going to be a great buy next year when Petzig gets fired or Kyler Murray moves on. But for right now, unfortunately, as much as I love the story, I loved seeing Marvin come back in that second half and ball out. But I mean, are we really getting excited about 6 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown? I mean, the touchdown was sick, but that's like Logan said, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 numbers. And if that's the peak of oh yeah, Marvin Harrison, we're back. I just don't know. I'd much rather go get Quentin Johnston right now.
Yeah. 100%. Quentin Johnson is wide receiver 3 in all of fantasy, not even just on your team. So
he's a dog.
I see Alex holding his head. It's
unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
I offered a first form in a dynasty league.
No, you did not. Oh my God.
Are we panicking on Ladd McConkey? Is this a Ladd McConkey panic?
Yes. I think Quinn Johnson is clearly the wide receiver 1 in this offense, and Ladd McConkey had 1 catch for 11 yards. He's just been phased out of the offense since Quinn Johnson's kind of established himself, and Keenan Allen kind of plays the same role as Ladd McConkey. So I don't know. I think it's a QJ1, and then you're going to see Keenan and Ladd McConkey kind of rotate. I do think it's better days are ahead for Ladd McConkey, but I definitely don't think he's going to meet that ADP that you spent on him early this offseason.
I agree with you on that point, Logan. I think that everybody underestimated the effect that having Keenan Allen on the team would have on Ladd McConkey because he came in and took the Keenan Allen role, and now Keenan Allen's playing the Keenan Allen role, and Ladd McConkey's phased out. In Dynasty, I think Ladd McConkey, you got to hold on to him. I think he'll eventually. I think his role is more sustainable, but currently in redrafts, he's almost worthless.
Yeah, I'm in the same spot. I think it's funny that we're all back here at Quentin Johnston. I feel like we were talking about it last week, and we were like, is the breakout real? Is it not? I don't know. And then he goes off. He's like, what do you have, 12 or 13 targets this last game? Justin Herbert was 28 points, leaning on him to try to, come back and beat the Giants. I mean, QJ's a dog, but I still believe in Ladd's talent. Ladd is one of the best receivers at getting open. I just think he had a really bad game against the Giants. I think the Chargers as a whole had a bad game against the Giants. And so I think there are better days ahead. He's a better dynasty buy than a redraft buy, but still would be buying, especially because the guys who drafted Ladd right now are freaking out about Ladd. And so he's not going to pay off at his ADP, but if you can get him, trade a guy you got at a later ADP for him, maybe he pays off at that ADP. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'd go as far as to say I'd trade in a dynasty. I'd trade a second rounder for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's crazy to you guys, but I feel like he has after Keenan Allen's going to be on this team for what, 1 more year? Not even.
Yeah.
So
It could just be through this year, and then he's kind of gone.
It
I
might
don't
be a
think
retirement post this season.
Yeah.
So, and into that, we'll go. I don't know if we want to answer some questions, Cam, or if we want to go straight into buy low, sell highs.
Well, let's just take this one because this is on the same topic. This is from Hardy11. Thoughts on Chase rest of season? Media is completely throwing him under the bus. Fair, but analysts still have him as a low-end wide receiver 1. This leads into my question: Egbuka or Chase rest of season? And the other question was, where do you rank Egbuka rest of season?
Egbuka, I mean, rankings wise, I would have him top 10, especially without Mike Evans. Top 15 when Evans comes back and Godwin comes back into the mix of that offense. I still think he's if they're both back, high end wide receiver 2. For me, right now, I think Egbuka is over Chase. I know that's crazy to say, and we would never be able to talk about this week 1, but for me, he's over Chase. I wouldn't panic on Chase though. Egbuka is just different. Hold Chase. Don't trade him away. He's. I would have him as a buy low. I know he's kind of toxic right now with Browning, but I think better weeks are to come. If you can get him for a RB2, I would say if you could trade him for Javonte Williams right now, who's averaging over 19 points, he had 19 points last game, I'd get him, but he's a buy low for me. But I would hold him if you have him.
Hardy, I would wait 4 days to see if Jameis Winston ends up with Bengal. And if he does, I would hit accept on that trade. Because Egbuka, I didn't know Chris Godwin was back until I turned on the game and was like, okay, Chris Godwin's back. And Egbuka still had a bigger role than him. Granted, I'm sure that they're working Godwin in slowly after his injury last season. I think that Chase is going to skyrocket back up to a top 8 wide receiver if Winston's his quarterback, but right now he's around 15th. So it all depends on what the Bengals do at quarterback to me. So it's hard to say go one way or the other right now. And there's so much, it's so up in the air.
Yeah, I would have a tough time trading Chase for Egbuka, and I think Egbuka is really good, but he's caught 4 touchdowns. Like, he's on pace for 17 touchdowns. I don't think he's going to do that, obviously. I do think there's a chance Egbuka is the wide receiver 1 even when Evans and Godwin are back. Because Evans, older player with a hamstring, it could take him longer to get back from that injury.
Yeah, I'm with y'all. I think, obviously, in redraft, I think Egbuka is just a smash to, take. If you're getting offered Egbuka for Chase, then, I would take Egbuka, just because we don't know what's going to happen to Chase. You're going to be hurt because there's going to be games where Chase goes off. And we got to remember that Chase just played Denver. It was a very solid secondary. Pat Surtain was on him. Jake Browning's, struggling. They played the Vikings last week, another really good secondary. It's going to get easier for them a little bit. And then you have the plus of Jameis Winston. If Jameis Winston comes back or gets traded to the Bengals, then Jamar Chase is higher than wide receiver 1. You know what I mean? He could probably get 350 yards in a game and 3 touchdowns. And I think it's just right now it's kind of a wait and see, unless you get a really good offer. And Egbuka, I think, is a good one. But it looks like this person, Hardy, has Egbuka, and someone's offering them Chase for their Egbuka. And I don't think I'm buying Chase for that.
Yeah, I agree. Do you want to answer some more questions, or do you want to
no? Let's save the questions for later. We'll do buy low now, guys. Right. We will answer more questions. Just hang tight. We're gonna go through some buy lows, and then and Alex is actually gonna head out now. It was
Alex, a pleasure, guys. But
any buy lows you got?
The show. Buy low and Jamar Chase.
You gave us Genty last week.
I gave you Genty last week, and I can't think of any. No.
All right, Alex,
sell high on James Cook, by the way. But what were you saying?
Sell high on James. Say it with me.
What was I going to say with you?
Bayshul Tootin.
No, I'm not saying Bashal Tootin with you. I'm sorry.
Get out of here, Alex, while you still can.
All right. See
Don't
y'all.
say Bashal Tootin.
Don't get Bashal Tootin. Right.
Thank you, Alex.
I'd trade Jamar Chase for Luther and Bashal straight up.
You said that because Alex just left.
Yeah, I don't actually mean it. I just said that for Alex.
Oh,
all right.
Alrighty. So we're on our buy low and sell highs, guys. If you need any buy low, sell high questions, drop them down below in the chat. But my first one, what are we doing with Cam Scatterbo? After the game he had, I personally, he didn't have the breakout game we thought he was going to have. It is the Chargers. Are we buying low? I personally am buying for what I can. Like I just mentioned Javonte Williams. I like Cam Scatterbo's future a little bit better than Javonte Williams rest of the season. What do you think, Logan?
So if I have Cam Scatterbo, I'm going to hold him through this week. They play Saints, very favorable matchup. And then potentially after that, I would consider selling high. They have Philly, Denver, and then Philly the next 3 weeks. Those could be 3 matchups that, he could struggle in. But for now, I would probably hold him if I had him. And if I don't have him, I would consider going after him. I don't know if you can potentially buy low on him right now. I don't know if he is a buy low right now. I think, he's had 12, 21, and 12 the last 3 weeks in half PPR scoring formats. So I don't know if the window is there to buy him at a low cost right now.
Yeah, I think buying him at value is great, for right now. I think people are still not as aware of how good he's playing. Scatterbo, like that, Ashton Genty right now, we've talked about this, that he's like leading the league in missed tackles forced. And like, we read that crazy stat last week that he had 144 yards, but then 146 yards after contact, just abnormal. So he's number 1 in like missed tackles forced. Scatterbo's like 5th in the league. And like, this is coming from a guy who's slow, white, small, like, and he's forcing missed tackles. Like this, I want this guy. And he also has the receiving upside. We saw that last week when he got 6 catches on 8 targets or something like that. I mean, it's just, Scatterbo is, inevitable. And especially with Nabers being out, like, obviously that's going to bring the offense. It's going to make the offense, struggle to, it takes away the deep threat kind of thing with the offense. But I think they're going to have a lot of design plays for Scatterbo. I think Dayball loves him. So Scatterbo, I think, is a great buy, is even at value.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I seen something the other day. It was like he's going to have CTE by week 16 this year. So get him while you can. But I actually have a big sell high this week. Big wide receiver you could sell for a running back if need be. Cam, I believe you're a Steelers fan, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
we're selling DK Metcalf this week. He's not getting – I think he had 6 targets this week. He caught 6 for 6. That's not happening again. I think Calvin Austin is getting a little bit more work before this week than DK Metcalf. So I would sell high. If someone's panicking on a wide receiver, they have Malik Nabers. He's out. If you could sell him if you need a running back, if you need somebody who didn't do as well, Derrick Henry, I would keep DK for Derrick. If you could add maybe like a Lee Gaminor or somebody, just a side piece with DK and get DK, I would do that 100%. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think DK, I actually do like that call of selling him high. He had the 80-yard touchdown in the second quarter, I believe, in that game. And then after that, he only had 2 catches the rest of the game. Aaron Rodgers behind a not great offensive line. He wants to throw the ball quick. So DK is going to have to break these like slants for long plays to keep this up. And I would sell DK Metcalf as well.
I'm using DK to go buy Scatterbo.
I like that.
See, could you get Scatterbo plus if you gave up DK? I think you could get Scatterbo plus for DK.
If you can get plus, great. If you can't, I don't care.
I would do that 1 for 1.
Yeah,
I do not like DK. No offense to you, Cam, but your Steelers don't pass enough to him.
I like the Steelers, but dog, I don't agree with their decisions, bro.
Trade him number
yeah,
one
Kenny,
for Luther Burden.
Yeah, I was screaming at my TV when they drafted Kenny Pickett. Like, no. I knew it was going to happen. I wanted Malik Willis. I was still wrong, but it would have been
Cam,
more
do
fun.
you think the Steelers are going to win that division?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be hilarious.
I think they could. The Ravens are
and
banged
then
up.
we go play the wild card. We play Baltimore in the wild card. We're at home at Acrisure Stadium, and 3 plays into the game, Derrick Henry just rips off a 76-yard touchdown run. And the Steelers are like, "What happened? I thought we were better." Turns out we were not.
That's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to say the exact same thing.
It's deja vu. Yeah.
All right. You know what? My next pick, I think we were talking about before, Alvin Kamara. Not just because of what he's going to do on the Saints. I think his upside is on another team. I think my hot take is he's leaving as soon as next week, as if the Saints lose again. I don't think there's any reason he stays on this team. Kendra Miller is I think he's the better back, to be honest, just rushing wise. I like Kamara's PPR upside because he's historic for his receptions and his receiving work. What do you guys think? I think he's a fantastic buy low right now. Even if he doesn't get traded, I do think he's still a really good buy low.
Yeah, I would buy low just on the fact that he could get traded, and I would hope that he would get traded somewhere because what he had this past week. I mean, he didn't really play well this last week against Buffalo. I believe he had single-digit points. Yeah,
he just.
I would go. So you wouldn't have to give up. You have to pay like dirt cheap to even give him the first place, and then if he gets traded, let's say to the Chiefs, his value would skyrocket. So I would also try to trade for Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, I think Alvin Kamara is a great buy under the pretense that he probably gets traded. If he stays with this team, it's just tough, man, because Kellen Moore, the way he runs his offense, it's not a lot of, designed running back targets. And like right now, he's had 2 games where he had 4 and 6 catches, but this past week he had 4 catches for 2 yards. And then in week 2, he had 6 catches for 21 yards. Like, it's just, they're throwing him these ugly little screens and not using him to the best of his ability. So you got to risk it for the biscuit and hope that he gets traded. If you can buy him pretty low, depends on, I guess, who would you be buying him for? Like, what's something that this
may seem a bit outlandish, but would you trade like AJ Brown for Kamara and just hope that he gets traded, or is that like too premature to do that?
If you have AJ Brown, I would get rid of him.
Just use the name value.
Yeah,
that's a great idea, and I'm gonna go try that right now because I have too much AJ Brown, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, I had him in mind making this list, but I don't even know if you could get rid of him somehow. Like, I honestly like Devontae Smith a little bit better than AJ Brown. Crazy enough, just rankings. I just don't think AJ Brown gets enough volume, and he doesn't catch. He had 2.1 points, so.
That's the thing is, like, I would be kind of fearful of giving up a player like AJ Brown when I could potentially give up. I'm trying to think of names right now, but I feel like you can give up somebody like not a no name, but like a player.
Would you trade Ricky Pearsall for him?
See, I don't know if players or if people are going to trade for Ricky Pearsall right now. I mean, it's a PCL injury.
Marv? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Marvin Harrison? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would, it's actually a better idea. Cam, if you have Marvin in any leagues, I would actually do that instead of AJ Brown.
Bummer. I'm fresh out of Marv's. I drafted him in like every dynasty last year. Every dynasty league last year, I traded him off in every single league in the offseason. And except for one, I did hold on to him in one just because I was like, okay, maybe he pans out. But yeah, I don't have a lot of Marv.
We're gonna go back to Monday night, and we're gonna look at Devon A-Chain. Does he have any? And obviously he had a great game. I was watching that game and I noticed somebody named Ollie Gordon. He is cutting into his workload way too much for my liking. Are we selling? Are we holding? What are we thinking about Devon A-Chain and this kind of toxic Dolphins offense?
We do not care.
Yeah, I think if you are in a league with somebody who has Achane, I don't think you're gonna be able to trade for him by trying to buy low. And if you have him, I would probably just hold on to him. I mean, there's no Tyreek anymore. He's gonna get more targets in the passing game. I would hold on to Achane, and injuries and Ollie Garden kind of worry me, but PPR wise, he's gonna give you a safe floor each and every week just by catching double-digit passes each week.
I actually love every time Ollie Gordon runs the ball. Because I feel like it just shows Mike McDaniels how much more he wants Achane to run the ball, and not that he's bad. He has looked good. I'll give him that. This is the guy they needed, was a bruiser, and actually I don't think it really takes away too much from Achane except for some goal line carries. That's going to be painful. But even last night we saw like them in the red zone. They ran Gordon on first down, and they bring in Achane, and Achane might not be the biggest guy, but he's so elusive. Dude, I love Achane. Like I would buy high on Achane so hard, especially after this game. Weeks 2 and 3. Week 2 he had 8 catches on 10 targets. Week 3 he had 7 catches on 9 targets. Even going back to last year, dude, the guy was getting average 7 to 8 targets a game, like as a running back. That's just 7 extra points. That's almost a guaranteed touchdown a game in PPR. And he looks way more explosive this year than he did last year. So we do not care about Ollie Gordon.
Miami faces the Panthers this week, right? That's why if I have him, I'm just holding on to him.
We are eating this week, so yes, I'm all in on Achane.
Somebody mentioned tight ends in the chat, so I'm gonna throw it out here. What are we doing with Brock Bowers? What are you guys thinking? Because I genuinely have no idea. If I'm a owner, I'm holding, but I mean 9.8 points. He's not getting the work for some reason. Trey Tucker, obviously Genty should and supposed to be getting work, but Bowers is getting those third down receptions for first, and then we don't see him again until they need another first down, third and short. So what are we thinking, guys?
I would sell high, and I know we talked about him being a buy low last week. I would sell high on the name value and the positional value. People still are going to view him as a top, 3 tight end in fantasy. He has a PCL injury, so he's going to be playing through that the entire year. That's not going to get better by him playing through that. And I looked it up before we started this live stream. He has 12 catches this year at the line of scrimmage or at 9 yards. So 0 to 9 yards, 12 of his receptions are at that, mark. And he only has 1 catch of 20-plus yards this year on only 4 targets. So they're not utilizing him the same way they were last year down the field. Their offensive line, which is already bad, got worse with Colton Miller getting hurt. And Geno Smith, he's just a turnover machine at this point. So the offense doesn't really stay on the field for long stretches. I would sell Brock Bowers high on name value and positional value.
Yeah, I'm so torn because Bowers is just a guy who's just, in my mind, he's like transcendent. He's beyond good. And the hardest part is he's got this knee injury. I wish they would just bench him, let him heal up because they got 3 weeks until the bye. They get a bye week in week 8 and then just let him play weeks 9 through 18 healthy. But he wants to play through it. Right now it's just a hang on and wait. I don't think it's totally bad for him. Week 1, we saw a great game, 5 catches on 8 targets for 103 yards. And he's had, 5 to 8 targets every game so far. They've struggled mightily these last 2 games. I think the offense is trying to figure it out. New system with Chip Kelly. That's pretty intricate. Geno has struggled, but he is far and away the number 1 target on that offense. I like the trade that somebody mentioned earlier where they paired up Bowers with Chase Brown and got Egbuka and someone else. Obviously you probably can't do that now, but if you can take Bowers and another high name guy and go get something really good, actually these late tight ends are really playing well right now. So you could pick up somebody off the waivers who's playing pretty well, like a Brenton Strange. So yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at. Harold Fannin, go get Harold. He's probably already rostered in your league. So.
Would you trade Bowers for Tucker Kraft?
That's a hard one, dude.
Or like Tucker Kraft plus something.
Probably Kraft plus.
Yeah, I would say that. I was gonna even say, would you do Brock Bowers for Kyle Pitts?
I wouldn't do that. I won't go that far. I'm a sell high. I would not sell.
Not after his breakout game.
Pitts is pretty solid. I would give him that.
Yeah, Pitts has been pretty good.
He's like Brock Bowers. Yeah, he's getting the Kyle Pitts treatment. Like I just realized this now talking about Kyle Pitts. He's getting that Kyle Pitts treatment where fantastic rookie season, and then you see it slow. It's a slow decline too. It wasn't like automatic. The second season of Kyle Pitts. It was a slow descent into madness, and then we just see the abyss of Kyle Pitts. And now, obviously, hopefully a resurgence, because I am a Kyle Pitts believer. But hopefully he doesn't go down that path. But
and I don't think he will. But I really think it's just the knee injury, and because even his average depth of target has plummeted the last 3 weeks since week 1. I just don't think he's going to be able to be as explosive as he was his rookie year.
Yeah, I'm with you. The knee injury is the one. I mean, he looks like Gronk out there, but he's got the big giant brace on his knee. So yeah, if the Kraft trade is very interesting, because I think Tucker Kraft is probably a dark horse to be tight end 1 this year. He's playing so well. I mean, it was like 2 inches short of 2 touchdowns, and Kraft is playing really well this year. So anyway, let's do like 5 more minutes, Dom. We got a couple more, and then we'll answer some questions.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask if you guys had any buy low, sell highs, finish this off, because I know we're getting a little late. So I want to answer some questions. There's a ton of questions in the chat. I appreciate you guys commenting. So if you guys have any buy low, sell highs.
Cameron, do you have any? I'm trying to think of some right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some. I'm pulling up I always like pulling up last week's stats and seeing who balled out and seeing who we can sell high.
I'll give you a quick one. Are we selling RJ Harvey after this big game? Are we worried about J.K. Dobbins?
That's an interesting one. Dobbins, I wouldn't sell high. I think his role is definitely going to keep increasing through the season. But man, Dobbins has played really well. Like, he had over 100 yards last night. I don't think you're ever going to see Harvey as the clear-cut RB1 that offense. I think they're kind of just going to alternate drives for the most part this season.
If you have RJ Harvey, I'm sorry, Cam. If you have RJ Harvey, would you trade him for Jalen Waddle?
No, I don't know if I would. Waddle's always a player. I've had Waddle multiple times the last couple seasons, and he always just gets hurt. I don't know if I want to trust that. But I get what Cameron's saying, trying to trade for Waddle. He just scares me.
Depends on team need. Like, if you're set at receiver, you don't need to go get Waddle. If you need a receiver, go get Waddle. Harvey's just going to be a later breakout guy. And, Dobbins is playing extremely well. But we saw what Harvey can do a little bit last night. And that is add a lot of play in the receiving game. I'm a sucker for a running back that catches passes, and more than 4 to 5 passes a game. So he caught 6. That's good enough for me.
And you are a sucker
is Nico Collins a buy low potentially? He plays Baltimore this week. Is that potential buy low?
I think it is. I think people are insane. I've tried to trade him in some dynasty leagues that I'm deciding to tank in, and I can't get nothing for the guy.
Really,
it is crazy how low people's. I can't even get a first for him.
A guy called. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I don't think it's because of him, the player. I think everybody's terrified of the offensive line, but I think he's still a really good player.
Yeah, I think they're terrified of the CJ Stroud issues, and I just think they're gonna figure it out. He hasn't played horribly bad, and they're just gonna need to ultra target him more. The season's getting harder. They're taking losses. I think they're going to have to come to a point where they decide to throw the ball. And I will say this whole thing with Woody Marks kind of breaking out this last week, Maybe that is what they need, because last year they had a bad offensive line, but they had Joe Mixon, who was very effective in the run game. So they were a more balanced offense. Teams had to respect the run. Now, if Woody Marks is playing well and Chubb's just, doing his thing, it could open up the offense a lot for Nico. Baltimore is going to be the big blow up game. Like Nico could go for 200 if Stroud can throw him the ball. I think Nico's a great buy low. I like Nico a lot.
Yeah, I also think that people, when they trade, and a lot of people who don't play fantasy football and maybe don't watch as much football, have the sickness of name value when trading for a player, because Justin Jefferson and Nico Collins have, other than this past week, obviously Justin Jefferson had a great game, but before then they kind of had the same value, like just based off the season. And if you were to give somebody, hey, take Justin Jefferson, and say, hey, take Nico Collins, Justin Jefferson has that name value where people want to take him. And I think people get a little bit too caught up in the name value. I personally think if you could buy low on Nico Collins, I think people are scared, like you guys said. You could buy on him. I think he's going to be I would love to have him on my team, especially if you have somebody like a Malik Nabers, a Tyreek Hill, even somebody like Pierce Hill, who you're worried if they're coming back or not. I think he's a fantastic buy low, and he's somebody who the Texans, they're not targeting Christian Kirk. They're not going to target they're not targeting anybody else in that offense. I know they have Dalton Schultz, but that's their number one guy. Tank Dell isn't there anymore. No more Stephon Diggs. That's their number one. So eventually they're going to have to pass. And I much rather him than Brian Thomas on my team. If you can get rid of him for Nico Collins, or somehow, I don't know anybody who would trade away Brian Thomas, but
I ain't doing it. I'll tell you who's a great buy low is Teteroa McMillan. He only had 10 points this last week. They got blown out in New England. But this guy has just been elite so far this season, just by the metrics and numbers and stuff. It's coming. Like it is coming. I know people are disappointed with Bryce Young, but Bryce always gets better as the season goes on. I just think that I think Teteroa is inevitable and worthy.
Worthy's good. I like that one too. Is there any chance that Bryce Young gets benched at any point in the season? And does that, if he does, do you have more faith now in Ted if Andy Dalton's a starter? Or is that even a scary proposition?
Yeah, dude. Andy will just sling it to him nonstop. He might get 20 targets.
Andy Dalton
and Coker's coming back.
That's true.
Coker's coming back.
Andy Coker's going to kind of open it up.
He's like a fantasy guru. He knows like what's going on in fantasy. So if you need a receiver like break out, he's always the guy like to give it to your number one. So it's like,
yeah.
I mean, I'd be a little nervous if he's starting, but I think T-Mac's just a buy in general in your leagues. I'm in a keeper, so that means you keep one player every year. If you choose and you sacrifice a draft pick, I've been trying my damnedest to get T-Mac. I've not been successful. It's somebody who is I think 1-3 right now or 2-2, and they do not want to budge. So just do what you can to get T-Mac. Trade any of these guys, DK Metcalf, Marv. We talked about trade those guys. Get him if you can. He has just more upside, way more targets, way more target share. So you want to hop into these questions because this chat's really blowing up.
Chat's blowing up. Let's go back. I'm going all the way back. We have a ton. Guys, if y'all have questions and I skip over one, please make sure that you say something. Okay, so we did that one. All right, we're going with Patty. Patty says, would you rather trade away Kyron and Ibuka for Saquon and Travion, or Cook and Diggs? Or neither at all? My team is Lamar, Hall, Kyron, Amon-Ra, Nico. What? How many teams is this? 7?
I want to play in your guys' league. Jeez.
That's what I'm saying. Jeez. You just wanted to brag about
not
this
your
team.
I don't want to play your team, but I want to be in your league.
I'm keeping Kyron and Ibuka in all those trades.
Yeah.
I am as well.
Okay.
I wouldn't even I know James Cook, but I would not trade for Stephon Diggs. I know he did really well last week, but I wouldn't trade for that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Those two. I mean, Ibuka is like such a. If you're gonna sell him high because somebody out there loves Ibuka. And like Logan said, like I'm all for selling Ibuka because I think his touchdown rate is unsustainable. But yeah, I'm not trading him for Diggs. Sad.
You
All
can
right,
get him for so much more.
Yeah, definitely. Somebody was trading him for Jamar Chase. Like, come on. Hunter 18. Wait, or Woody and Diggs? Was there? Did they write something else?
Was he up? Oh, he was all the way up.
Backs, all the way up.
That's the guy who said I have no Lamar no backup. Dak and Stafford.
Okay. Okay. Woody and Diggs are there on the waiver, but my running backs are Gibbs, Cook, Mason, no depth. Wide receivers are BTJ, Pickens, JMO, Evans, Wandale, Franklin. I mean, I think you just need to go pick up all those guys. Get Dak. Wow, I guess we'd have to know your bench size because if you've got to drop some of these receivers, like I think Franklin is a good drop, and Wandale, like I mean, it's just hard. But I think
I think Franklin's is your best bet to drop somebody.
Yeah, and then if Evans is taking up IR spot, hopefully you just have an extra bench spot available as well.
Right. But you definitely need to get Dak if Lamar's out. So get Dak and then get Woody.
Yeah, and you would have the Dak and Pickens stack as well if you picked up Dak.
Yeah. So Dak, Woody, Diggs are my options. Yeah. All right. So we answered that one. All right. Oliver. I just lost Nabers and Pearsall is hurt. Prayers out to you, brother. My other wide receiver is Ridley. I'm in bad shape.
Wait, that's it? He only has Ridley?
Hold on. No. He added another comment.
Kind of, Aaron.
RBs
are okay, Oliver.
This is a safe space. Running backs are pretty stacked. Genty, Amarian, Judkins, Kamara. Great. Another team has CD, Adunze, London, Evans. Target. Who would you target on the other team for a 1-for-1 trade for wide RB for wide receiver?
I love London.
Yeah. London's a great buy low right now.
Yep. London and CD are the guys that stick out to me. Those are the guys that are going to matter the most by the end of the year.
Would you trade Genty for London?
Yeah, I think I am.
I think Genty, he was very good, obviously, very good running back, but he's not facing the Bears every week. And they just lost Colton Miller for multiple weeks with the high ankle sprain and fracture.
Yeah, but he sucked.
I don't know. Genty still kind of scares me.
I'm scared to see Colton Miller's replacement because Colton Miller sucks. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Genty's probably going to come back down to earth. I'm just still enjoying the win from Sunday that we all got to watch. Yeah, I mean Genty for London's not bad.
I look at it like this. I look at it like Genty is an RB2 every week. He's going to be an RB2 every week. London is a high-end wide receiver 2, like mid wide receiver 1 with potential for a breakout. Like that Falcons offense, for some reason, can turn it up whenever, and he's still getting like a solid 6 targets per game. He's not getting a lousy, DK numbers where he's getting 4, 3. He got 6 last game, but it's not up and down. He's getting those targets. I seen him get like 11 targets one week. I think it was week 2 or week 3, and then 8 targets. So he's getting targets and he's getting opportunity. Just a lot of time he's covered. A lot of time he's playing teams with that are blanketing him, just from the eye test. But I think London's such a kind of a better deal, especially if you need a wide receiver.
He had 15 targets week 1, which is just yummy. All right. Matayam. My team's in a weird spot. I have Rome, Golden, London, Kraft, all on bye. Oof. Lamb, Kittle, Rashi out. Do I basically just have to punt the week and take the loss? Feel like, yeah, don't drop any of those guys. Definitely.
Yeah.
You just got to take the L, and you're 2-2, which is a bummer. But yeah, unfortunately, the good thing is you're going to have all your guys back after this week, while everybody else is experiencing multiple bye weeks. So silver lining, take the L. Shoot, I'd even take this week if you have kickers and defenses, just drop your kicker and defense and go snag like Brashard Smith. Like some of these guys we're going to be a little early on maybe, and just see what they do this week, and then figure it out from there. But yeah,
fantasy football is weird. You could win. This is like it's entirely possible that
is true too.
You pick up Justice Hill off the waiver wire last week, and he scores 34 points for you. So it's not like you just lost this week. Keep those. Don't panic on these guys. You're gonna have Rice back. You're gonna have like I think you had CD too. You're gonna have all these guys back. You're gonna be.
He had Kittle as well, right? Do you have Kittle, CD, and Rasheed Rice?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and Kraft. That's a great team.
Yeah.
All right, Apple season. Hey man, had a trade question. Who wins this trade? Purdy and A-Chain or Benson and Allen? I'd be getting Allen's side. I also own Caleb Williams and Amari Hampton as my other QB. Oh, dude, I'm keeping A-Chain and Purdy. If you already have Caleb Williams, that's just me though. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, as a Bears fan, don't trust him week to week. He is if he has a great matchup, if he's playing, I know he didn't do great against the Raiders, but if he's playing a team like Dallas, start him. But Purdy has week to week startability, and the chain. I know I said so high on him, but I don't like that value we're getting back. Like I know, and Allen's great, but I'm assuming you're talking about Keenan Allen.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
See, if it's Josh Allen, I may be taking that, and I know it's really unpopular opinion with you, maybe unpopular, but I would take Josh Allen. And Purdy, turf toe, I don't know if he may be, partially hurt throughout the entire season. If I can get Josh Allen, I'd probably take that side. Because Caleb Williams, has been very good, but very volatile. He's kind of up and down. I don't know if I want to trust him as my, ultimate QB1.
Yeah, he's matchup dependent.
And you have Hampton already too. Like you have Josh Allen and Hampton. I'm kind of fine with that trade.
Yeah, but you could have Achane and Hampton. Oh, like I just think Achane is like I'd like literally a top 3, top 5 pick for the rest of the year. Like if we were redrafting today, like it'd probably go Bijan, Puka, maybe Achane right there. But that's just me. This is why we have multiple people on the show, because I live on the wild side like a psycho frame. I just traded George Pickens straight up for Brian Thomas Jr. because I am not afraid.
Yeah, he put his team down below too. Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, see, he's got Burden too. Come on, bro.
Okay, and Geno Smith's your other quarterback. Yeah, I'm taking the Josh Allen side.
Oh
that's
man.
Hard. That's such a weird trade, but I kind of like it. Like I like that risk, like the risk about it. I'm kind of on Cam's side about this. Like it's a little crazy, but I don't know. I'd have to know if it's Josh Allen.
I also hate having elite quarterbacks. Sorry to interrupt. Every time I get an elite quarterback, they only score like 15 points for me, so I just don't do it.
Yeah, quarterbacks are also easy to pick off like waiver wire and to kind of gauge week to week. Like Daniel Jones was a waiver wire quarterback.
That's all right. So this is from a question earlier about we were talking about Scatabo from Hardy 11. Does Tyron Tracy change anything? Everyone's completely kicked Tracy into the sun, but are we sure he doesn't steal the receiving work? Scatabo's obviously the better runner, but I think people forgot Tracy. I agree, but I just think they could both be receivers in my mind, especially without Nabers.
Yeah, and with Tracy out, Scatabo if he plays well, may steal kind of the front runner role as a top running back and steal all that work as well.
Tracy was a – go ahead, Dom.
No, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, like, this, like if he does come back in this offense, like it depends too how Scatterbo plays, because if Scatterbo is just a world beater and the desperate Giants, again, Dable is practically every game is playing for his job, so he's going to go roll with whatever's best. That's why they would not have started Jaxson Dart if it was like a head coach like a John Harbaugh or somebody else who's established. It's literally just because Dable needs to keep his job and do anything he can. So if Scatterbo plays well, he's the RB1 in that offense. It's not like he's going to do what us fantasy football owners want to do. Like, he's going to do what keeps his job. And I think if Scatterbo plays well and Tracy comes back, hey,
yeah, there's also
change anything.
the draft capital discrepancy. So Tracy was like a 6th round pick, I believe. He's a converted wide receiver to running back. And, he earned it last year, but of course he was also battling against Singletary and not much else, like Eric Gray, maybe. So those guys year to year are so fluid. Like they're not consistent. Even though Tracy had a good year last year, that can all go out the window when a higher draft capital running back plays well. And Scatterbo, just a big name, not to mention just what he brings to the team as like a person. Players love Scatterbo. He's like a locker room culture guy. So, I don't think it's all the way over for Tracy. In fact, if somebody drops Tracy, like, he's a great ad. But it's just going to be hard for Tracy to climb back up this mountain after losing the job. Really quick, before we go to the next question, did anybody see this guy? I can't remember his name, but on Twitter, he shared the story about Jaxson Dart in the locker room after the game Sunday.
I did not say that, no.
It is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like a professional beat reporter. He's like, Jaxson Dart sat in the locker room longer than any of the other players, and he sat alone with cuts and bruises from the beating he had taken during the game. Then Dayball came up to him and a smile showed up on his face. Dayball came over and embraced him, and they held each other. It's just this really long Twitter post that people have taken so far, and they've turned it into romantic novels. Yeah. It is so. I saw it last night, and I just broke out and just started crying, laughing.
Even on the field,
anyway.
if you saw Dayball after the game hugging Dart, it was very intimate. You saved my job. I get to keep my job for the next whenever we lose.
Bro, Dayball loves Dart.
Yeah, that's his son right there.
I'll make sure to send y'all that tweet afterwards. All right, King Lomeo, looking for opinions. Would you trade Josh Jacobs for Breece Hall and Jake Ferguson PPR? I have no tight ends. That's a great trade.
Josh Jacobs' schedule is so light the rest of the way. I think he has the easiest schedule among all running backs the rest of the way.
But if he has no tight ends,
that's true.
Hall is the focal. That is the Jets team. I know Garrett Wilson's there, but I don't know if you were watching that game against the Dolphins. They were running it in the fourth quarter, being down. It was just insane. They were throwing check down, and rushing it. It's so scary. And Braylon Allen's now out, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Logan, but
you're good.
Breece Hall just lights me up for some reason.
I guess if he has no tight ends, I'm very curious what tight ends are on the waiver wire, I guess. But it would be very hard for me to trade Josh Jacobs away just because the rest of – and I know he's on a bye week this week, so maybe if you have to win, you take that into consideration as well. But I would have a hard time trading Josh Jacobs away.
Yeah, I just think that if you're trying to get a tight end and you're trying to tear down from your running back to get a tight end, this is probably about as good as it gets. I think Breece Hall's a good RB2 and has RB1 upside, and Ferguson is just getting ultra targeted without CD in. And not to mention that even when CD was in, Dak was ultra targeting him. So to me, I think it's a pretty good trade. And even though you lose on Jacobs, I think Jacobs will probably have a better season than Breece, but Breece does get pass work. It's not going to be, but so much better. That's that one. Taco 2-2 in a 12-team PPR. Trade Henry for Tet and Chase Brown. No.
I wouldn't either. Chase Brown, I don't even value Chase Brown anymore at this point.
Yeah,
So it would just be Derrick Henry for T-Mac, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah, Derrick Henry's about to blow up, and I love T-Mac. I love T-Mac Taco, but can't trade Derrick Henry for him unless you get a different running back. Like Chase Brown is not who you want to put in there.
Chase Brown's not real.
If your weekly tight end is Chig. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm just clicking a bunch of stuff. Sorry.
Hardy's been shout out to Hardy 11. He's been helping out while we've been talking. So shout out.
Yeah. Shout out Hardy, and thanks. Hopefully you hung out to hear the end. All right, Sean said, "Fellas, I flipped Trey Benson and Juwan Johnson for Trey McBride. I'm 4-0 and picked them both off waivers. Win or loss? Come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. Come on,
really
bruh."
Nice.
I'm surprised the guy gave up Trey McBride for those two players. I'm very surprised.
He gave it Trey McBride in general.
That's true, yeah.
That's like saying I traded Jamar Chase for Luther Burden and Bashal Tootin. Come on, bruh. Yeah, you fleeced. Nah, that's a great trade. That's a great trade. Tom Brady, thanks for the shout out. Make sure you sub, and I remind you all, please sub if you're watching this right now. Subscribe to the podcast. Keep hanging out with us. I'm hoping there's some people that I've seen that are repeats, but I like to see repeat people in here so we can continue building a relationship and see how y'all seasons go week over week. Hunter 18. I have 2 open spots. Oh, this is that one from earlier.
This is the Dak and Dak and Stafford.
Was it Woody Marks? Was it?
Yeah, Dak, Woody, and Diggs were his options, and I think go get Dak and Woody.
Yeah,
You can probably trade one of your running backs because, from what I remember, your running backs were pretty good.
And
you
prioritize
had
Woody Marks,
Cook, and Mason.
Who was his other quarterback? Do you remember?
Lamar.
Okay.
That's
right. He only had Lamar, right? That was the only quarterback. Yeah. Okay, I think I would prioritize Dak, but I totally get prioritizing Woody Marks as well.
Well, that's why I say take Dak first and then Woody.
Yeah.
All right, Aldo. Would you guys trade Rashi, Debo, Chase Brown for Jamar Chase and Achane? Half PPR. Really need to upgrade my RB. I'm 1-3, so I can't wait on Rashi to come back. I think that's a good trade. Even though I love Rashi end of year. Top 5 receiver in the league.
I think it's worth the risk for Jamar Chase, and then Achane, you get that value at RB. I would probably take the Chase Achane side, and especially since you're 1-3, you have to win now. I would probably take that risk.
Yeah, I agree with Logan. It's win now. It's if that's what you need. You need to do it. So if you were like 3-1, I'd tell you, hold on that because she's coming back. But you're getting rid of Chase Brown. I do like Debo, but that's practically you're giving up Chase Brown. Just it's I would do that.
Yeah, I'm with y'all. Especially you're 1-3, you got to shake it up. ZH, would you guys do this trade? 10-man standard league. 2-2. I was offered Saquon and Brees for Garrett Wilson and Genty.
Oh man, this is another tough one.
It's tough because of the standard scoring. Because Saquon and Brees are great in standard, whereas Garrett Wilson and Genty's pretty good. I would. Well, I think I'm leaning
Saquon and Brees, but I don't feel.
So
yeah, that's what I think I'm leaning.
Yeah, because Saquon is going to get you like 85 plus. That's his. He's averaging 85 plus, especially for non-PPR standard league. I'd say F it. Do Saquon and Brees.
Yeah, I'd guess Saquon and Brees on that one. Standard league, you don't get points for any receptions, so that just makes Garrett Wilson even less valuable. Genty had a great game, but like we've all said, still concerned about the offensive line. So Saquon and Brees, take that. All right. we got one more unless somebody comes in and brings another one. Thank you, everybody, for all the questions. PC, pick an RB and a flex out of these. Marks, Godwin, Monty.
Marks
I
and
would say
Monty.
I would as well, yeah. Monty has the Bengals this week. He should bounce back.
Oh, yeah, he's going to have a great game. It's probably still a little early on Godwin, although Godwin balled out target-wise.
He had 10 targets. I think him and Ibuka both had 10 targets.
Yeah, dude. First week back from a pretty bad knee injury. That's very, very bullish for Godwin. But it's still probably going to take him time to recover fully. I mean, poor Godwin, like even last year and the year before when he was looking pretty good, he just looked like a slow old man. And now his knee's destroyed. And but he still gets targets. Just knows how to.
Tampa Bay has a tough matchup this week. They play Seattle this week, so I'd probably stay away from that matchup for Godwin.
Yeah. So Woody, Marks, Monty, I'm on the same page there. Cool. All right. Well, I think that's all we've got for this week. So, any parting words from you guys for this week?
Thanks for having me host. I had a great time. Alex and Logan, Cam, thank you guys. You guys are super. It's easy to host when we're just kind of talking, and it's a really great time. I'm glad everybody dropped questions in chat. Go follow FanFeed Network. We got a really great thing going here. Follow these guys. Follow me at Fantasy Pulse. Also, we're active on social media as well. Comment anything you need from us. Whether it's start sit questions, reach out, DM us. We love talking to you guys. So awesome to have you guys on today.
Yeah, Dom, good work on hosting. I was impressed. Good work.
I know. Yeah, thank you. That's high praise from you. High praise from a podcaster yourself, hosting your own podcast. So I appreciate that, Logan. Thank you.
No problem. Yep.
Yeah, did a great job. Great job. Logan, do you have any parting words fantasy-wise for anybody?
Play all of your lines against the Bengals, and I would just stay with, play players in, against really bad defenses. Try to look for matchups in that. And, if you like that one situation with that one guy where he had a lot of injuries and he's kind of thinking about punting this week, if that's the case, try to stash some defenses for next week if that's the case.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, and I would just say too, if you're 0-4, 1-3, do not be afraid to shake things up. Do not be afraid to lose trades because you're already losing. You can't lose much more. You got to get some of these guys off your team. You got to get points on your team. So go make some trades. Listen to some of the guys we talked about buying and guys we talked about selling. And if you have any questions, you can always DM us. DM FanFeed on social media. DM these guys. They got their tags here in the on the screen. You can DM me. I will warn you. I'm a freak of nature, and I will tell you to go pick up Bashal Tootin. And it might not help your teams. You might stay 0-4, but we'll be 0-4 together. But anyway, with that, we're going to go ahead and sign off. So we will see you guys next week for this show. And, good luck on all your games this week. See ya.